Hello folks, Frankie Day back here again on YouTube. Today I'd like to share with you a build I've done in years past. This is a card model, not a kit, all scratch built. This time it's a ship. In my collection I have over 500 ship models in my collection. Anywhere from man of war to steamers. Before I present the model to you, I'd like to talk about its history a little bit and the model itself. In the beginning, this is the late great RMS MAURETANIA. This is how she looked like prior to her launch in 1907. Then Explorer Trade made sure she had 16 lifeboats, all steamers back in those days. To be quite certain that from anywhere from 35 to 40,000 tons, steamers had 16 lifeboats. It took the event of the sinking of the Titanic to wake them up, and they never envisioned such a catastrophe could happen. So they inquired the lifeboat capacity up to 24 lifeboats instead of the traditional 16. The model was built from Edward Westwester plans. The gentleman is a naval architect, and most of his plans, matter of fact, all of his plans are on a scale of 1/384, which is a very tiny scale. And I like them big, so I took the plans and took them down there to Office Max. I had them enlarged up to scale 1/250, rendering a model length of 43¼ inches long. Highly detailed. I've got over 3,000 parts incorporated in this build. And I have her natural elements, underway ship's colors, steaming all the way from the old world to the new world, back from the new world to the old world. And this ship and her sister ship, the late great RMS Lusitania, were responsible for a multi-million immigrant trade all the way from the old world to the new world. My ancestors probably came aboard this ship. Quite certain yours did too. It's a very beautiful ship, some regard it as a floating palace. She has 4 brilliant funnels. She gives you the resemblance of the late great RMS Titanic, but close but no cigar. She's a quadruple streamer, giving a speed of 26 knots, much faster than the Titanic. Titanic could never catch up with the Mauretania Lusitania. They were the blue ribbon holders up to 1935. As we all know, as history dictates it, that her sister ship, the late great RMS Lusitania, was sunk 13 miles off the coast of Little Kinsale in Ireland. And Walter Schweiger, U-boat 21, was responsible for her sinking. And the RMS MAURETANIA was stricken for the mercantile fleet in 1935, and the Queen Mary was the new blue ribbon holder. Such a beautiful ship she is. I'd like to present here our RMS MAURETANIA. As you can see, she has a little bit of resemblance to the Titanic, but not quite. This is all paper, fellas. All paper. No wood, no plastic, no wire, no such thing as aftermarket parts on the ship. Everything is paper made per plans. Give a little walk around here, fellas. Again, I cannot stress any more than I have to. This webcam does not do justice to my builds. It's like anything in life, it has its limit, so you get a pretty good idea of what she looks like. This is a big model, 43¼ inches long. And you're all probably wondering, what kind of seascape you used on this, Frankie? I say, well, it's like this. Depends on the model how you want to do it. There's some do it in rippled plexiglass. Some do it with plaster of Paris. I do it the old school method, which is the best for me, using Reynolds wrap kitchen foil. You take your kitchen foil, once you tear it off the wringer, you'll crinkle up a little bit to give the effect of the water. Then you smooth it out over the display board, which is going to be mounted on. Using contact cement or rubber cement, use it liberally on your display board, glue down the tinfoil on top of that, and it's there for life. Ain't going nowhere. Then using your choice of paint methods, acrylics, water-based enamels, lacquer finishes. On this model, again, this webcam don't pick up too much details, but you can see a little bit of the wake on it. And the effect of the ocean at a calm sea. You can see the wake from the stern. Using shades of blues and whites gives it the effect of the mighty blue sea when she's underway. She's an identical sister ship to the Lusitania, but there's only one difference. On this ship, on the Mauretania, you got the cowling type ventilation system. On the Lusitania, it had the man cover type. That was the only difference. There was complaints on the Lusitania they weren't getting enough ventilation because the manhole covers on it. And at the time, they were ready to go back to the yards, the dry fitters, and have the ventilation system redone. It was a bad design for that ship. But the event of World War I and her demise, it was never realized, never happened. But the Mauretania had the large cowling type ventilation system. That's the only difference between the Mauretania and the Lusitania. This is a big ship. And it's a quadruple steamer. Top speed is 26 knots. There's no way the Britannic, Olympic, and the Mauretania, and the Titanic could be able to catch up to the Lusitania or the Mauretania. They were blue ribbon holders until the end of their line. The Mauretania was built by Clyde and Brown, 1907. Scrapped in 1935. Her successor was the Queen Mary I, and she was the mainstay blue ribbon holder up until she was stricken for the mercantile service. And SS United States was even faster. She was short-lived, and she was the blue ribbon holder. A lot of people, passengers who sailed on Mauretania, regarded her as a floating palace. I can see why. She has 4 bright red funnels, which is the Cunard Line's main steamship colors. Her hull is all black. Boot topping is red. Below the waterline is all red oxide. The plans from the Midwest-Wester was a waterline. It wasn't a full hull. Basically, I like waterline models because it gives the effect of the ship being underway in its elements. And I have a lot more ship models that I'd like to post on here. In my collection, I have over 500 of them. And I'll do the best I can to share them here all on YouTube. And before I close, I'd like to thank everybody out there. I'd like to thank Alex. I'd like to thank Nigel and all you great fellows out there who have commented on my YouTube presentations. It means a lot to me. And like I said, I had second thoughts at first. I was wondering if I was getting any views out there. Anybody's looking at them besides me. And yesterday I had a list of comments, and I was astounded by all the responses I got, and I was very happy. So you may be happy, made this old man smile, and I hope I make you smile too. Bill hands the clock over there, give me the cue of getting off here. I don't want to do my boundaries again. I'm starting to get less tongue-tied and not to get too excited and start to think about my mouth. I'd like to thank everybody out there for tuning in, and may God bless. Fire your comments this way. I answer them on the fly, as you can see. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in again, and God bless you all, and thank you, fellas. Bye-bye.